Hello everyone, my name is Mary and today you are watching a Nerdy BookBOOK Club book talk. Today we are discussing Heartless by Marissa Meyer. As everybody knows, this is a retelling of The Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. Now I was very cautious to get into another retelling because sometimes I don't like them and stuff. I normally don't like anything from Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland, even the cartoon, freaks me out. So I was very hesitant to get into this, but I loved Marissa Meyer's Lunar Chronicles series, so I was like, okay, I have to give this a try, and oh boy, did I love it. So for the spoiler-free section of this, let me just say that this is basically an origin story of the Queen of Hearts and how she became to be who she is. It follows a girl named Kath who will be the Queen of Hearts and her journey to becoming that person that we all know from Alice in Wonderland. So that's really it for the non-spoilery section. I don't go into really much detail about non-spoilery stuff because basically everything I want to talk about is very spoilery. So goodbye to all the people who haven't read this book. Go read this. It's amazing. It's great. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Go check it out and then come back. Go read it and then come back and we'll talk about it some more. So bye to the people that haven't read this book. This book. Oh my God. So first off, let me start by saying I only had 2 problems with this book, which I will get into a little bit later in our discussion. But first off, I really enjoyed this book. It follows Catherine Pinkerton, who will become the Queen of Hearts. Throughout this story, I love that she loves to bake. I think that's my favorite thing that was in this story, was that she loved to bake. And all the mention of foods and the desserts that she created, I just wanted to eat. So that just made me want to go out and learn how to bake like she does in the book. Her mother made me so mad in this book because she just wants her to be this proper young lady and wants her to be this person that she's not. She's just like, all I want to do is go out and bake. And she's like, no, sweetheart. No, you must do this and do that and this and that. And I'm just like, ugh, that sounds an awful lot like my mother and how I grew up. Ugh. So it was like flashbacks to my childhood. Let's talk about love interest. The love interest in this book is Jest. Jest is the court joker, the newly appointed court joker of the Kingdom of Hearts. And he has been hired by the king, and his first performance is at this ball that Catherine has been invited to by the king. And it's a black and white ball, and her mother makes her dress in this red dress, so she's very noticeable. So he does his little cool acrobatic tricks and stuff. I'm just thinking Circus Soleil, what Jest is doing and stuff, and I'm already in trance. I was like, I love you. Oh my God, I need more of you. That's all that I could think of. He was just charming from that moment. And at the party, she runs into this gentleman who has won this pumpkin eating contest, and his name is Peter. And he's so rude to her. Get him out of my way. He is so mean. He just thinks everybody around him is just judging him and stuff, which I can understand, but he's just And then his poor wife is not all there, and you're just something's off with you, and I can't pinpoint it right now, but something's weird. And that night, this mythical creature who nobody has seen and everybody thinks it's a myth, the Jabberwock, comes and interrupts the party and everything, and you're just uh-oh, something's happening, something's going on. The reason why her mother has set her up in this beautiful, big, poofy, tightly corseted red dress is because the king is gonna propose to her. So this king is kind of I don't even know how to explain him. He's just an idiot. He's just an idiot. He's just so weird. I I can't. Like, I listened to the audiobook, of course, y'all know me. And the way that the girl, portrayed his voice in this was just like, and I was just like, no, I already don't like you. No. So he kind of proposes to her, and she's just like, oh, no. So she runs off, and then she meets Jest, and they have like, she faints, and they have this magical moment where, and she had a dream of him, and she's like, oh my god, this is the guy with yellow eyes, and oh my god, I am intrigued by you. I must know more. So after that, they kind of go on like this little like date. Now the date that he kind of like takes her on, and it's not even a date. He's interested in her, so he comes to her house, and he's like, I am going to take you to a tea party. Have you ever been to a cool tea party? She's like, well, yes, I've been to a cool tea party. He's like, no. Have you been to a cool tea party? And she's like, I guess not. So he takes her to Hatta. And I like that they call, instead of Hatter, it's Hatta. Like, what's up, Hatta? Like, it's like throwing up gang signs. That's lame, but you know, that's kind of like how I pretend. I was like, what's up, Hatta? And Hatta, he's not mad yet. He has made a deal with time, and he's, you know, going back and forth, and time can't keep up with him to make him basically crazy. Or the Mad Hatta. So they go to Hatta's tea party, and when they're there, there's like all bunch of creatures. Like there's a lion, there's like a turtle, and there's a bunch of other animals and stuff, and they're all just having a ball. They have like, on the table, they have all these seats in a range and stuff, and then they have like the performer seat, and you put on a hat, and then they perform for the Hatta. Perform for Hatta. And it's Catherine's turn, and she gets up there, and she's just like, well, I like to bake. I baked these, and she pulls these macaroons from her pocket, and everybody has a slice and everything. And then boom, the Jabberwock comes in and disturbs their like whole party and everything. Well, they run away, and then the turtle gets left behind, and it's just like she has to go back to the turtle. And when Jess like throws her the hat, and she pulls out this sword, and it's the only kind of sword that can kill a Jabberwock. And the Jabberwock runs away, and but he kills the lion. So everybody's like freaked out because of it, and Jest is just like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you through that. And I'm just like, oh god, I love you. But Catherine's just like, I can't be with him, and it's going to be really hard and everything, because I'm supposed to be with the king. That's what my mother wants. I don't want to disappoint her, which I understand, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what's best for your heart, but not all things happen the way that you want them to. So because Catherine wants to know more about Jest, she asks him, you know, what is your story? Where are you from? And he's like, well, I'm from the land of chess, and I was actually sent here to kill the Queen of Hearts. And Cath is like, we don't have a Queen of Hearts. Oh, shit. I'm supposed to be the next Queen of Hearts, so you're here to kill me. And he's like, yeah, but I won't, because I'm in love with you. And they share this like beautiful moment together, and it's so magical, and I love it. And they have this moment where her ankles hurt, and they have to go to the three well girls who are like crazy. Oh my god, let's talk about them for a second. These three little girls, so I picture around like 8-ish. I think it says how old they are, but they're like 6, 8-ish. Like, the only thing I can picture is like the girl from The Ring. Like, but 3 of them. And just like happier, I guess? But that's how I pictured them. They're just creepy. Jess asks for them to help Catherine, and in return, they ask for things so that they get stuff in return so they can go back down the well. So Cath and Jess have like this moment of like, I want to be with you. If you want to be with me, then be with me. If not, I will back away. She's like, no, I want you, and this is how I want it. Like, it was just such a beautiful scene, and I just loved it so much. Like, they have that moment finally where they're like, we can be together. This is good. This is great. And then they head back home. At this point, he has stolen her from a night when the king took her to the opera house and the Jabberwocky came charging in and stuff like that, and that's how she hurt her ankle. So the king thinks, and everybody thinks, that Jess has like kidnapped her and taken her away. And when they head back, they go through like this portal thing back to Catherine's house underneath the bridge, and then there's her mother, her father, and Marianne, her maid friend that she wants to own the bakery with. And then there's the king and some guards and stuff, and it's just they have Jess like locked and trapped and stuff, and Catherine's like, no, he didn't he didn't touch me, he was, nothing happened. But they take him away anyways, and right as they're taking him away, he's like, yeah, well, you got me, but you don't really got me. And then he just goes, boom, and it vanishes, and it's like, oh, magic, where'd you go? So Jess gets away, and now he's like on the run, a fugitive and stuff, and Catherine is freaking out because she doesn't know what to do. So Jess is a fugitive now, and he's kind of just gone under the radar. Nobody's heard from him, nobody's seen him and stuff. And then this king decides, to throw a ball, because that's what you do in tragic times and stuff like that. Because of the Jabberwock, you throw a ball. And Kath is just like, you're an idiot, but okay, let's go to a ball. And this is where he's going to basically propose to her officially instead of courting her like he's been doing. And, here they are about to do it, and then who appears is Jess. He appears, and it's just like magic. And oh my god. It's a masquerade ball, so they're all in masks, so nobody can tell who is him. And he's like, look, if you still want this, I want this, but yes or no, basically. And she's just like, I don't know. And he's like, okay, I'll back away then. So Jess interrupts all of the dancing and stuff like that. The king's announcement that he's going to propose to her and make her his bride, and she's gonna be the Queen of Hearts, and he's just like, Catherine, I know a way that we can have your bakery. I know a way that we can be together. We can save Chess. Just have to come with me, because Chess, where he's from, is basically at war and stuff. So that's why he has to steal the Queen of Hearts' heart, because that'll help save his war, because they've been in war for hundreds of years. So he's like, I know a way that we can do all this. You just come with me, come trust me and stuff. And she's like, okay, I trust you. And then they vanish together. So Jess, Hadda, Catherine, and Raven, who is Jess' accomplice, they all three go through the maze to go to the looking glass. And then they see the three girls, and they're all happy, hunky-dory. Oh, yay, we're going to Chess. We're going to go start our new lives. Everything's going to be okay. The three girls are like, whatever you do, don't go through any doors. Now, when I hear that, I'm going to remember myself. Don't go through a door. Okay? Don't go through a door. That's all that you were told. Don't go through a door. Oh. So the girls are like, if this is your fate, and it was murderer, martyr, monarch, mad. Those were their fates, and they had them written on this like wall of like pictures. So they had a guy with an axe, and that was supposed to be Raven. They had a picture of Jess with his head chopped off. They had Catherine as queen and the Hatter going mad. And these were all their fates and stuff. And this was their fate if they went through a door. Now, back to that whole thing. When you hear and see those pictures, you don't go through a door. You just don't, okay? You don't. So like I said, they get to the end of the maze, to the looking glass. They have to solve a puzzle, and there's doors all around them. I guess throughout the kingdom and stuff like that. Catherine hears a scream, and she's like, oh, I recognize that scream. I recognize that scream. She goes to one of the doors, and she sees Marianne in Peter's pumpkin patch, which has been all burned up and stuff like that, because all the pumpkins and stuff were bad pumpkins. She sees Marianne, and she's just like, I have to go, I have to save her. And it's like, why would you do that when she ratted you out to the king and her mother about the magical night that you had together? Why would you do that? Why? I kind of went country there. I went a little southern, sorry. But I'm angry. This angers me. This angers me very much. I understand why. But it's like, no, don't go through the door. The fate was there, written on the wall. Don't go through the door, please don't. And what does she go? She goes through the door. She goes through the door. And what can you do? You can't do anything. Can't do anything but just like, damn it. That's all you can do. That's all you do. Damn it. Why would you do that? Damn it. She tells Jess to stay behind, because if he stays behind, the fate won't happen to him and stuff. You'll be fine. You'll be just fine. Do you honestly think, bitch, that he can really do that? That he would leave you to fight, to go to Peter's house and to deal with what's going? No, he's not gonna leave you. He's gonna come after you. And that's exactly what he did. So now we're to the part of the book where I have my first problem. When I started this book, and this is with any book that I read, the first thing that I do is I go to the acknowledgement page and I read it. Because I love to see what authors say to other people, like thanking them and everything. I love to read that first before I even start the book. Let me continue on with the story at hand and what's going to happen. As everybody knows at this point, because it's non-spoilers, it's the non-spoiler section. So if you haven't read this book and you're reading this, I'm sorry, but I'm about to spoil some major points. Okay? You should not have been watching this video, but here we go. So Catherine goes to Peter's pumpkin patch, and Marianne is trapped in the big giant pumpkin jail. And Peter comes out, and he's like, you've done this to my wife. And she's like, I don't know what you mean. And he tells her that the pumpkins are magical because Hatter's the one that gave him the magical pumpkin seeds, and Hatter's the one that did this. And the pumpkins have turned his wife into the Jabberwock. I'm sorry, what? What? So his wife this entire time has been the Jabberwock, going around and basically killing people. So now Catherine is fighting Peter, and who comes and saves her? Jess. The one person she told to stay behind. And of course he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that to her. No, he's not. He's not. He's gonna come to her. He's gonna help her. And so does Hatter, and so does Raven. They all come back, basically sealing their fate. So Peter, and Jess are fighting while Catherine is trying to, distract the Jabberwock and everything, get Marianne to safety, and Jess' hat falls off. He's on the ground and stuff, and she pulls the sword out of Jess' hat and, then cuts off the Jabberwock's head. And Peter is so pissed off. Like, he's just standing there like his Jabberwocky wife's head is not on the body. She's dead. Jess is behind him, and he has a giant axe in his hand. And in his fury, in his rage, he swings that sumbitch backwards. And there goes Jess' head. No! And let's return to that problem number one. When you flip into this book to look at the acknowledgements page, it's on the right side. But because my hands deceived me before I even got to read the book, my hands flipped to the very last page. And because my eyes hate me and my eyes can't help But my first read of this book was, for the murder of Jess, the court joker of hearts, I sentence this man to death, off with his head. That was the first sentence that I read of Heartless. So all the while, as I'm reading this book, I know Jess' fate. I know that he dies. I didn't know how he died, but I knew that he died. Problem number one. So of course I'm sad, I'm heartbroken. I didn't cry because I knew it was gonna happen. If I didn't know, I probably would have cried, because problem number two, I'm gonna continue my story, but then I'm gonna catch up to problem number two. So Kath is devastated. She's like, is there any way we can bring him back? And Hattah's like, no, there's not, sweetheart. He's gone. And she's like, but he was innocent. And Hattah's like, well, the martyr normally always is. She like goes into like this depression stage where she's just like angry at the world. She like fires Marianne. She's just like, just get out. I went back for you. I was already mad at you. And I went back for you and you killed my love. Go work for somebody else. So this is where we start getting into Catherine's angriness that we know from Alice in Wonderland. She's like, I must get revenge for Jess and Jess' death. Because Peter, after he cut off Jess' head, he ran away, he took off, and Raven went after him but lost him. So she's like, I have to find a way to avenge Jess' death. To make a deal, because she doesn't want her heart anymore, because she doesn't want to feel anymore, she makes a deal with the little girls, the three well girls. And she's like, once I become queen, you can have my heart, just bring me Peter, so I can serve him justice. And they're like, deal. So Catherine marries the idiot king, and at the very end, the girls bring her Peter, and then they have like this mini trial, and the Cordians are just like, innocent, he's innocent. And Catherine's like, oh, hell no. Hell to the no. No. I overrule you because I'm the queen and I have final say. Once they have brought Peter to her, they, stab her and cut out her heart and stuff and take it for themselves. And the king's just like, what's going on, my dear, my love? And she's just like, shut up. Let me deal with this justice. I'm gonna get to that last page, and she, here she's becoming the Queen of Hearts, as we know her in Alice in Wonderland. She says, for the murder of Jess, the court joker of hearts, I hereby sentence you, Peter, to death. Off with his head. And off with his head is the very last line that we have in this book. Okay, so let's go back to problem number 2 now. I think the biggest problem that I have with this book. When I started this, I did not know it was a standalone. So I'm like, okay, I'm ready for book 2. Yeah, this will be great. Cause, it'll go into the Alice in Wonderland story, and then maybe it'll after Alice is gone, it'll go and Jess will be, she'll finally be able to be with Jess and stuff. They'll bring him back and then everything will be hunky-dory. No, this is a standalone. And when I read that, I was heartbroken. That's when I cried. That is when I cried, when I found out that this was a standalone. Because I had such high hope that Jess would come back. I read this book a couple of weeks ago, and it's taking me till now to finally get over the loss of Jess, because I had such high hopes for him to come back in the second book, which there's not going to be. So those were my 2 problems, that I knew Jess was going to die before I read the book, and that this is a standalone, because I think easily it could be, an origin story going into a finishing story for Catherine. I feel like Catherine, there's more to her when after Alice leaves and stuff, and I feel like that it needs to happen. I feel like she needs to redeem herself. We know her as the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, how mean and terrible she is. But I feel like if there was some way Jess could come back, she would come back. And maybe they could just be together, be alone, and that's how they would do it. I don't know. But I feel like there is highly possibility for there to be a second book in this. But I know that there's not, unfortunately. But those are my thoughts and my feelings. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. It was a good origin story and I loved it. Like I said, I normally do not like anything Alice in Wonderland at all. But this book and Marissa Meyer's writing and story and world building and characters always bring me in to love them and stuff. And I love Catherine, I love Jess, I love Hatta, I love Raven. Peter can get his head chopped off and I'd be perfectly happy, like I am. And that was my Heartless book talk. Let me know what your thoughts and feelings were down below in the comments. Let's talk. Let's talk about how Jess is gonna come back in the mysterious second book. Let's talk about that. Let's chit chat about that, because I feel that. I feel it, it's coming. I'm Mary from Nerdy BookBOOK Club, and this has been a Nerdy BookBOOK Club book talk. And we'll see you next time. Bye! Yes, I am missing a nail, okay? I'm Ratchet, okay?
If you like to talk to tomatoes, if a squash can make you smell bum bum bum, if you like to waltz with potatoes up and down the grocery aisle, we got a store what for you? Daddy Tales!
Come on, Marissa Meyer. You got another book in there. You got it. Come on. Come on. Just book two, and Jess comes back. Okay. Got it? I'll call you. Cool. Call you? Sweet.